seconds to explain the procedure that we're going to follow. When Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. join us, they'll be available for photos for a few moments on the platform. After that, we'd like the photographers to go along the sides of the room, clear of this front, so that we can begin the questions. Everybody will have the opportunity to ask questions and get the coverage that you'd like. In order to do that, we need one person asking questions at a time. If you raise your Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. will tour 29 cities together in concert during the spring and fall of 1988. The first concert is March 13th at the Oakland Coliseum. At the end of the formal part of our press conference, Elliot Weissman and Mort Weiner, on behalf of the tour, will be available to answer specific questions about the tour. American Express is a supporting sponsor. Other sponsors will be announced at a later date. I'd like to now present Ed Cooperman, President of the Consumer Card Group of American Express's travel-related services company, who will explain American Express's participation and introduce the artists. Also, would the photographers please sit or kneel down while Mr. Cooperman is speaking? Yes, any questions?
So we don't have to ask you, do you know yet what the format of the concerts will be, or is that what we should ask you?
I think you can address them, but basically they'll each be performing separately, and then they'll come on again together at the end of the concerts. Okay.
Great.
Mr. Cooperman.
Thank you, Susan, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know that when you have the opportunity to participate in an event that features Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, and Frank Sinatra, by any standards, three of the greatest performers in the world, it's difficult to avoid using superlatives. They've brought their own particular brand of expression and interpretation to every medium: stage, film, television, radio, records, every medium. And by their energy and the excitement that they create, they are examples of what has made American entertainment such a powerful force throughout the world. From the Candyman to Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime to My Way, these are sentiments that are recognized and identified throughout the world. And we at American Express know something about worldwide recognition, because after all, that's really what's built our business. Worldwide recognition has built the American Express card. So when we heard that Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis, three all-time superstars, were getting together for a concert tour of 29 cities, we knew this was a great opportunity for American Express card members. As president of the American Express card in the United States, I'm proud to tell you that by way of special arrangement with the stars and with the producers, we have reserved a majority of tickets for every performance for early sale exclusively to American Express card members. These tickets will be available to card members by telephone call prior to the general public sale. They'll find detailed information about the newest membership privileges in newspapers in all of the 29 cities and in our monthly communications to card members. We've truly put our card members at the front of the line in these 29 cities across the country. Providing exclusive priority access to tickets for this once-in-a-lifetime entertainment privilege is exactly the kind of unique privilege that we're proud to make available to American Express card members. And now, I'm very proud to introduce to you Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr.
We want to thank you very, very much. Thank you all. Gentlemen. Right over here, gentlemen. Gentlemen, over to your right, please. Right here. Mr. Sinatra, gentlemen over this way? Mr. Sinatra, right here, please. Sinatra, this way, please. Mr. Martin. To your right, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Can the photographers please go to either side of the room?
They pay attention to her. What am I, Mickey Rooney? What is this?
Alan, they lost power.
It figures I'd get this one.
Okay. Do we have any
I'll
questions?
get it.
May I thank you all for coming. It's awfully nice to see many of you who are friends. I would like to start off by saying I don't know why I'm here, but it seemed like a good idea.
You'll find out in a minute.
But it is unusual for us to be in this kind of gear this early in the... But then...
Don't believe him. We've come home in these many times at the same hour.
I can only add that it is a pleasure. And what is about to be announced to you, which I think most of you know by now, is, excuse me, is really something that we've looked forward to doing. Dean, would you?
What?
Dean,
You know, I'm just a straight man. I don't say any of the speeches, but it is a pleasure to be here with all you wonderful guys. And then, where's that guy, Mort? You told me the great guy who's who did you tell me was out here?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. Oh, what a football player. Oh, great player. Go ahead, Frank. Take it away. I can't talk.
He said he's a straight man?
Yeah.
Straight man?
Yeah.
He ain't been straight years. Just to add my thank you to all of you to come down and help us get this thing off the ground. We think it's going to be an exciting trip, and we should have more fun than the audience.
We will, pal.
Yeah. And when does it start?
March.
March.
March 13th, Oakland.
Oakland. March the 13th.
We close 14.
Okay. Sandy, CNN.
Question for Mr. Sinatra or anybody, how did this particular get-together? Who initiated it? How did it come about? And secondly, standing before us, the three...
Oh, you're confusing Dean now. You got to give him one at a time.
Just 4 or 5 words.
How did it all come together? That's fine.
You tell.
it all started as a thought at Sinatra's house.
Thanks.
And it was just that, and Dean and I both got very excited about it. And what I thought was just a thought, and I'm sure Dean felt it the same way, and it was a wonderful thing to be said at the time, suddenly became a reality. And every time we would see Francis, he would always mention it again.
Well, it's a time Frank didn't know about it because he was cooking, remember?
Yes,
That's true.
Yes.
Making sauce.
And, but we're happy to be doing this thing. We love the, the three of us, we love each other, and we have more fun than the audience has, as Frank said. And what the hell, we're going to cities that maybe none of those people have ever seen anything like us.
That was really. That's one of the reasons why I thought it was a good idea that we never got out of Vegas or Atlantic City. So if we could get around the nation, they could get to see us and see how bad we are.
And it's a good time to show that there is diversification in the entertainment world, and the sort of camaraderie that we feel about each other, to have it on stage And we've done benefits throughout the years.
Versification and camaraderie?
We've done benefits through the years together, you know.
Sure. That's tolerable.
That's what?
Tolerable.
But I think it's going to be fun, and I think the people will have fun.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Are you going to tape this for future use either on video or record?
Well, I have a lot of tape machines at home. I know I'm taping it. You know?
No,
yes.
we are going to tape it for HBO, we think.
Yeah, I think that that's
Home
already
booze office.
a foregone conclusion.
I'm the straight man, don't I?
Even if we hadn't made a deal, or people had made a deal with one of the outlets, we probably would have taped it anyway for our own files. Because we may never see this again.
Yep.
Particularly him on the end. We may never see him for a while.
Sandy?
Yes.
Three guys,
Yes.
you three guys, sometimes called the Rat Pack. How do you feel about the term now that it's been a few years since it was first applied, and how did it come about?
Oh, that's the end of the question was it's a good point. I was going to bring that up, by the way, before anybody used that stupid phrase again.
It's
The
now...
Rat Pack was made of Humphrey Bogart, who started it all, and several other people who lived in the small area here in Beverly Hills. And they decided that they would be called the Rat Pack. And then one day somewhere, Sammy opened his big mouth that we were members of the Rat Pack, and that's what happened. That's really what started the whole thing. We've never discussed a term for the three of us.
And now it's a little mice trap. No, it's just three guys together, and Shirley MacLaine was with us. She was the only rat we knew.
You guys don't feel that the term really does apply to you?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
When you ask a question, you always look at him. What the hell's the matter with me, huh? Don't I look good?
You look great.
Do I look bad?
For this hour of the morning, you look fairly good.
Ruth.
Ruth?
What kind of prices do you charge? Not Las Vegas prices.
No. Let me put it this way. The reason for the tour is for the people to see us. And the tickets will be priced so that the people can afford to see us. Not those kind of prices they charge in Vegas, because they don't have tables in these places where we're going to work. Do we?
Top price around the country, the highest price in the
$40 is the top price.
Will be the highest price.
Yes.
Steve?
How do you put a concert like this together with three big names? Who's going to sing what, when, together, separately?
Well, I sing most of the
Good question.
songs.
That's a good question.
And
We
they
haven't yet
dance.
had a meeting about who's going to do what. We got to
Hey,
figure that out. But it
I
works
always-
out usually.
I always go out first, and I start them laughing, and then they continue laughing when these two guys sing.
I think if you got a sense, if you saw Frank and myself at the Greek, you got a sense of what's going to happen, but adding the other ingredient, the ingredient called Dean Martin, you know. Now, that kind of thing goes back in history theatrically for us, back to 1960 in Vegas. But now with the songs and everything else, but mostly what we're going to try to do is have a mitzvah. I don't know if you understand that. And from your looks, I would say you don't understand it. But that's what we want to create.
You forgot to say bar.
I'm
Bar
leaving that-
mitzvah, that's it.
That's what we want to create, because we don't think that happens anymore.
Did you put this in my car? Thank you.
Yes.
Will there be other press conferences throughout the tour, and did that bother you? Is that considered a drawback?
What, I didn't...
Press conferences? No, it wouldn't be a drawback.
If we considered it a drawback, we wouldn't be here this afternoon.
But will there be others throughout?
I would think so. I would think so.
I don't know how you can go in some of the cities that we've never played in without meeting members of the press, and gladly. We're not out there to not meet them, and to hide.
I would like to add that regarding the trip, that the beginning of it, which will be, March? Yeah, we will go from, we'll leave here in our town and go through the southern part of the country, over to Washington. Ah, you changed it then. So we go up.
Washington is
Look
south
at this,
if you
we're screwed
stand.
up already. Make up your mind, fellas. We don't know what to pack.
That was a bad question.
David?
Very good question.
May I?
David? Oh, hold on. Did you want to
Wanna
answer?
go first, David?
No, go ahead.
Thank you, thank you. That brings up a good point, though. Can you give us an example? Will it be the old standards, a lot of new stuff?
Well, I'm going to do a medley of Prince's material. I opened with Purple Rain, since he's wearing my old outfits.
I'm doing a medley of Frank's old arrangements.
No, we're going to do what the public, of course you do new things. Frank is always including new composers. I find something occasionally to do, but I think basically what has made us survive has been the things that the people feel comfortable with us doing, and subsequently we feel comfortable in doing.
You may be surprised at a little blues. Look at this. He's going to do a trick.
Very good.
You can imagine what fun that'll be on stage.
In my pants, to give me flame.
Not
Have
bad.
any of you tried to quit smoking?
Yes.
Yeah, about 25 times.
I have tried several times.
Me, I quit every night.
I'll tell you one thing, this is one of the few times I smoke in the daytime. I smoke usually after dinner or a cocktail period. Yeah, that's the time, cocktail period.
I smoke during dinner. I do, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes.
8 months of mostly one-night stands. It really is kind of a grueling ordeal for
You
anybody.
say 8 months?
He's racing.
Sort of has March to October.
That's
A
right.
long time.
But there's a block period in between.
I thought it was 8 weeks.
It will be based in cities along the way and go out from each of those cities during the concert.
But it's kind of a grueling undertaking, no matter what. And you guys certainly don't need the money, I would assume. What is it that makes you willing to go through the ordeal that a project like this obviously entails?
I'll answer that. Do you know that when you retire, in 2 years, you die? Do you know that? Never retire.
He's speaking for himself. Don't include us in that.
They'll be
I
doing
ain't about to retire. I just want to...
They'll be doing 3 weeks in March and 4 weeks in April. I'm sorry, in September.
I think, David, to answer your question really truthfully, we love the business. This is exciting because we've never done it before. And for us to be together for a period of time to perform and do the kind of shows that we like doing now and enjoying each other on stage and off, and knowing that there's an audience out there that have never seen us before.
I'd like to return to the smoking question for a second, if I may.
Did you know you just interrupted me?
I'm sorry.
It's a 2 on the Franklin scale.
Would you believe 1 1/4?
Go ahead.
I was bothered by the smoking. Do you mind at all that kind of image that projects in an age when they're trying to cut down on smoking, especially by kids?
We don't care who smokes. If there's a sign that says no smoking, I won't smoke. But if I don't see a sign, I say, who's spitting?
Actually, we don't, this is a kind of a loose arrangement between you and the 3 of us. We certainly wouldn't do it, I doubt if we would do it on stage or at any other press conferences, but I think...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
We'd hold it down to bottom line, wherever we might
A
smoke.
minimum.
Minimum.
Ruth?
What kind of orchestra are you gentlemen taking?
The best.
We have our own orchestra.
About 35 musicians.
Jeff? You had something?
You guys
started performing together in Vegas, and I noticed you're not playing Vegas together now. Any reasons why?
We're playing the Valley.
Yes.
Well, no, the three of you together on this tour. Will the three of you appear in
No,
Vegas?
because these are all concert places, Jeff. These are all concerts and stadiums and theaters of that nature. So there are no
In other words, it's not a week at a time.
But
It's
you
mostly
think
one
three of
night.
you will do your thing in Vegas?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised since we're all housed somewhere in the future that lies out there.
Mitchell?
Frank, you had talked from stage about possibly doing this on a train. Why didn't, is that part of it, or why didn't it come about?
It's being discussed.
Why are we not going on the train?
Or are you, or you had talked about it?
Where's that
It's
saying?
being discussed. It's one of the elements that's being put together in the conversation.
No, are we going by air or going by train?
We're going partly by train and partly by air. And we have to get off the train at least in 2 days to take a shower. You know? What happened to Fort Franklin?
Judy?
Yeah.
Somebody quit.
Judy?
Again.
How many people will be involved with this? Between orchestras and setting it up and coordinating it?
That's a good question.
60.
We're also thinking of bringing along an orchestrator like Billy May, if he can get away long enough to be with us all the time. We want something written up in a hurry.
But it'll be about 60.
Sandy?
Yes.
I'm going to ask this one to Dean Martin first, but I'd like all to respond, if you could. You're all great American musical artists. I'd like, in your words, if you could say the satisfaction you get in performing with one another. What is it that you get out of, and Frank, why did you really want to do this? Dean first, though.
Well, the satisfaction I get out of working with these two bums is that we have more laughs than the audience has. We ad-lib, we just throw in what we think of, and we never say the same thing night after night. That's like doing a Broadway play, which I hate. Gotta say the same words every goddamn.
Diplomatic, I'll tell you that.
Well, I guess the Winter Garden is out.
Imagine him in the government.
There is something that hasn't been mentioned, a great mutual respect that we have for each other that transcends the popular hello chickie baby lover sweetie kind of thing. We've loved each other, respected each other. We haven't always agreed with each other, but the respect was always there. That comes across. Plus the fun, as Dean mentioned, comes across, which I think there is not enough people out there doing their job professionally and having fun doing it anymore today. We still have it.
Well, do you think it's a result? Hold on. Could I just, you want to try that? Satisfaction you get out of it?
Well, it's pretty much what Dean and what Sammy's already said. What helped us in this particular move we're making now is the fact that the Valley people came around to engaging all three of us, which helps a great deal, you know. And before this happened, we were playing for different sponsors, so to speak. And now they decided to have all three of us work in their clubs. It helps our position, and it gives us a chance to do what we like to do, with what Sammy said.
Yes.
Without being modest, can you tell us how significant an event, a musical event for you all three, this is, the three of you coming together? The fact that you have two other partners may allow you to avoid being very modest.
I think it's important. I think it's important for young people like, I watch MTV, I'm speaking for myself now. I watch MTV, not so much that I'm going to do one of the numbers, but I want to know what's going on. And I want young people to come see what it happens, because they only see Ocean's 11, which you see on the late show, You know, I've seen it so many times. The next time I see it, we're going to get away with the money, you know. They have to see us. I want them to see us, the young people to see us, as well as the people who have hung in with us through the years, which is really the important.
I'd like to add to that I've recently done a fairly large tour, you might say, or semi-large. And I noticed each time that the audience is now being made up of people who are as young as 17 and 18 years old. Plus the fact that their daddies and mamas are also in the audience, but we are beginning to being looked at by the younger members of the audiences, which pleases me no end. We're not doing, it's true, we're not doing what we call the modern music. If there's such a piece of music, I don't know. But obviously we don't do rock because we don't understand it in a sense. Maybe Sammy does because his people do it all the time, but we don't do that. But I think that that's another reason why we're doing it too. Maybe we can educate somebody to a little better music.
Do you think this tour might lead itself into the three of you doing a feature film again?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
You would like to very much.
Yes, very much.
You got any ideas? Put it down on paper.
No, he's been talking. He talked about that before this came about.
We've discussed it many times if we could find a script that would fit. There are a lot of them out there.
If you gentlemen have a good time doing this, would you consider taking the tour to Europe?
Sure.
I think our ladies, Frank and our wives, will insist that it goes to Europe.
You say Europe, you mean different countries. You still don't know that Frank's only allowed in 6 more countries.
Which of those?
Gentlemen, what about Southern California? I don't see that on the itinerary.
There are 2 dates in Southern California that'll be announced. It's in the press kit.
Later?
2 Southern California dates.
It may be in the fall section of it. Is it in the fall section?
Sometime in the summer. Sometime in the summer. Mrs. Sinatra.
The whole block's out. It's not just Jason's. It wasn't you guys.
Good.
We didn't do it.
Yeah.
On a slightly different subject, there was talk you're suing Kitty Kelly for her. Are you still planning to sue her? And are you thinking of writing perhaps your own response to that, your own version of your way?
What did you say?
Did you really not hear us?
I really didn't hear it.
I said there was talk that you're suing Kitty Kelly for the book she wrote about you. What I wanted to know is, are you still planning to sue her? And is there any possibility that you might write your own version?
That's not a question.
Yes, go ahead.
In what way is this concert going to be traditional in that are you going to have your trench coat and the hat? Are you going to do the drunk routine? And in what way is it going to be
What you see? He does the trench coat, he does the drunk, and I play the little black suit.
Well, then in what ways is it going to be untraditional? Will you do any Madonna music or something that the world's never seen you do? Even wearing garters.
The world has not seen us. That's why we're going on tour. The country has not seen us. They've seen rock and roll and all this other. Rock and roll.
Will you have an opening act?
I'm the opening act.
Just us. Just us.
That's
How long will the show be?
Sweet.
What's the length of the show?
It's probably 2 hours. 2 hours.
Mr. Davis, have you had your hip operation?
No, I had my hip operation on December the 10th.
That won't affect things.
No,
You'll be okay.
You guys were talking about the rock and roll era, the MTV. It just occurred to me, in your honest, private heart of hearts, do you have any worry as you look down this list of venues? You are playing some gigantic places that some of the biggest rock and roll acts are have trouble filling. in this era of rock and roll, do you have any real little secret worry or anxiety about whether you can pack him in every place you go?
No, that was me, no problem. You can imagine with the two of them and me, it's going to be no problem.
How is American Express involved in all this?
They gave us all cards. Well, naturally, I got a gold one.
Well, here's the answer to your
What we're doing is we're buying the right to get tickets for our card members before the public. The majority of the tickets in every city publicize this, and
Doesn't work anyway.
And as I said earlier during my presentation, we believe, based on the research we've done with our card members, that there's going to be no problem selling tickets for this. This is going to be a very hot ticket, certainly among our card members.
We'll have one more question.
I'd just like to ask, again, the three guys, being of your age, does it ever frustrate you that you cannot perform with the stamina that you had when you were a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old?
Speak for yourself. We still have the same standard. And I can frighten anybody here.
Do any of you go to anybody else's concerts, and if so, who?
I've seen a couple of concerts in the last year and a half or so, but usually our schedule, he's around the country, he's in Vegas, I'm around the country doing something. So that prevents a lot, because you got 2 days off. You're not going to go, back to the room. You're a cook at the restaurant. But I've seen Neil Diamond back east, I went to see naturally the Jackson, Michael and the Jacksons up in the neighborhood here. I'm looking forward.
Are they blind?
Yes, they are.
All over.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.